Thank you, Ruthie, for being here with us. We want to ask the important question because Clark County Genealogical is celebrating 50 years as a family history center here in Clark County. And we're dying to know, what were you doing in 1972?
In 1972, I was 32 years old. My boys were age 9 and 12. And I have my whole life fought the Battle of the Bulge. And that year I made a decision to see a doctor in Portland who had a new idea from a doctor in Italy, whereby if you took their herbs and their hormones and different things and went on a 500 calorie a day diet, you could lose about a pound a day. Well, it works out where it's not quite that, but from September, when the kids went into school, until Valentine's Day, I went on a 500 calorie a day diet. My reward for that from my husband was going to be a diamond. And every day when I saw the doctor walk past Dorothy Van Nuys Travel Agency, so I stopped in. Don't you know they had a bargain of the day? They had for $925 a 3-week, all expenses paid trip to Europe, Western Europe. And it was a bargain I couldn't see that we could pass up. So I traded the diamond that we talked about into the trip. And so I got my trip, and my mother went with, and we had the time of our lives for 3 weeks in Europe. So it was amazing, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Wow. My friends laughed at me because when I'd get back, I'd have to tell everybody about everything. And they'd go, well, there goes that trip again. But it was amazing, and joy of my life getting to go and see that. And, you know, people were saying, when you get to France, people are really grouchy in Paris. They're just like, you can't deal with them. I never found that true anywhere. I think, everybody was friendly, outgoing, and good. I got lost in Paris, of course, as I would do. And walked up to somebody, can't speak any French, they don't speak any English. And I'm asking for the hotel that we need to go to. And she pointed to, I was trying to get a bus. And she pointed to a taxi cab, and she said that. And so we got in the cab, and the cab was like $1 more than the bus would have been or something. So we got right to the door. But that was basically how we ran it in Europe. We were on a tour bus, so we had guides everywhere.
Your first stop was?
Well, we landed in Holland and then flew on a smaller plane into London.
Okay.
And so then we spent the rest of the time off planes and just on a bus, a tour bus, where we drove all over Western Europe. Italy, Germany, Austria, France, Italy. So pretty fun.
So, and you brought your album today. You took a lot of pictures.
I have pictures of the changing of the guard. I don't know how we can see this. Which was a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
And you hear about these things all your life, and then you finally get to go and see them, stand by all the statues and all this. This was a little place in Belgium. Just everywhere you go is picturesque, and just like you've seen it in books. Nothing changes over there. They keep the old. They cherish it. They don't just tear everything down and build something new. They cherish all the beautiful old things that have been there 1,000 years or whatever.
So, do you have ancestry from England?
I don't have from England, but I do have from Ireland and Wales and Scotland.
So, do you know which generation was your first generation to come to the New World?
I don't know which. I'm going to assume it was those, because of my grandfather, who was the Italian, And that would be where the Turkish and Italian and Maltese and those come from. He didn't come until like early 1900s.
So that was your grandfather came. He was
He
the
was
first.
the Italian part of that.
The Italian part came
that
in
equation.
the early 1900s.
But the rest of them came in the 1800s.
the 1800s.
Those are the ones probably from Wales.
But in Scotland, there was a lot going on.
In that
yeah,
time,
they-
so they fled here, and anyway, I've got it on my my what is it, the where you send in the
DNA.
DNA.
Oh, DNA.
My granddaughter bought me that for my birthday one
Oh,
year.
that's pretty cool.
So
That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
So I got to see what I was of everything.
Well, what we do in the genealogy library is we help you find the names to the people and, where they were born and who came over the big pond first. So that's kind of fun.
Would be, and I'm going to assume I met my great-grandfather. At the time I met him, he was 93 or something, which was unusual.
Was he still in Italy?
No, that one was my grandmother's father.
Okay, so they
So
were
that was the Wales, Scottish,
the Celtic.
yeah,
people.
that part.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume it was that part because of what was going on in their countries then. And then I think the Italians didn't get here till early 1900s.
Yeah, the history. What was the history in Italy? I don't think Italy was
They didn't
really
have
united.
the upheaval that
They weren't.
Nah,
Were they united by that?
They were from like the farmland. They were from Tuscany, so they were just farmers.
Yeah. But
My
they
grandfather
didn't
still
have
had
the same
goats.
upheaval. They did have World War I was not. They had things going on in Italy in World War I.
That is true, but the Tuscans, I think, they were more separated, and
They were making wine.
They were wine and
Drinking
cheese
wine.
and that sort of thing. Busy with good things instead of.
So, how long have you been in Washington?
I just moved here in 2006, and that's when my husband died, and I moved here into this apartment complex here.
Oh, wow.
So I've been, I was born in Missouri. I came from Kansas City, Missouri, and we came out here when I had rheumatic fever at age 9. And so we've been Oregonians ever since then. So then I've lived in St. John's in North Portland for years. That was where my home was.
And all your children are still out here in the Northwest.
Well, I lost one, but one boy is still here. He lives over in Orchard, so.
And family. Well, Jerry said that he could scan some of your pictures for
That
you.
would be great. He said once they're scanned, they can kind of
Yeah.
revitalize them because they are faded. That's a long time ago. We're talking 50 years here. These pictures have been around.
Oh, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.